Welcome to the Matt Beck Podcast. Woke up this way. He's got a lot of cool stuff he's gonna show you today. The latest news, industry topics, and business tips. For all hairstylists and salon owners, it's time to flip the script. Grab your precision scissors, barber combs, and swivel twist razors. Let's cut a bob, a quick shag, pixie cut with a little bit of flavor. Check out the live classes, product reviews, let's rock on. Don't forget to check out freesaloneducation.com. I woke up this way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. I woke up.
What's up? Welcome to today's class. Sometimes I just gotta take a second, calm yourself down. Anyways, I see you guys popping up on the chat. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, anywhere else that we can be, we're here. What's up, Debbie? Good to see you. Wahida, what's up? Glennis, how are you? Welcome. Okay, guys, so here's the deal. If this is your first time in this classroom, if you haven't been a part of the Woke Up This Way show, this is a hair show. Today we're going to do some live hair. I'm going to show you guys a different foiling technique, which will be really fun. I'll also answer a lot of your color questions today. And if you're new, write new in the chat. Just type new so that everybody can say hello. There's a lot of people that have been following this show for quite a while. We are 35 episodes in. That means we've done this pretty much 35 days in a row. So super cool. What's up? All right, Christina, I see you there. Saying hi to everyone. Beth, good to see you. Jess, what's up? Peric. Hopefully I'm not butchering everybody's names. Dawn, welcome to the show. I'm glad to see you here. Sephora, good to see you. Welcome. Dan, hello. Caitlin, what's up? All right, cool. Grace, we see you. All right, so here's the deal. It's super hot in here. It's like 100 degrees outside. And I've got a million lights over me. All right. So today, my goal and kind of why we started late was I was hoping to get a overhead camera hooked up for when I do different techniques. I'm going to have that hooked up, but it's not going to happen today. I just couldn't get it done. And I wanted to get the class out of here going. So super excited to do this class with you guys today. Let me know in the chat if you have any questions. If you have a question, type Q, then put your question. So just Q and then your question. That way I can see it in the chat. I've got the chat right next to my face here, so I can see all of you guys and whatever you're writing. So again, thank you to everyone for joining. And make sure that you share the show if you can. Share it with anybody, whatever platform you're on. One of these platforms, just hit that share button, and that will be, that's the currency. That's the cost of today. Sephora, where have you been all week? I've been showing haircuts all week. Today we got to do color. So no cut today. Akash, good to see you. And you're already posting your question. Good deal. All right, I will answer your question as we get into the class, I promise. When I ask for it, just post that question again so I can see it. But I appreciate you being here. We were talking yesterday, and I know I was encouraging you to come because this is a color class, and you have a lot of color questions, so we're going to get into that today. All right. So the subject of today's class is going to be Babylights. If any of you guys don't know what Babylights are, it's basically back-to-back, really thin section foils. But the one thing I want to share with you guys today, and we're going to do it on the cut that we did yesterday. So here is our mannequin from yesterday. She has a layered haircut that we did half razor, half scissor. Today, what I want to do is I want to go over how to do Babylights on this. She obviously has one level color hair. So what I want to also show you guys is a way that we can pop in tons of brightness, add some dimension using two techniques. We're going to use Babylights and Balayage throughout this to create a really great result that doesn't take you a lot of time to do. So that's the goal here. Simone. Also today, we're going to be using Joico color, but I'll answer any questions if I understand or I know the answer to any other color lines. I'll absolutely jump in there. And some, I think it was, can you blonde easily from dark brown to blonde with 20 volume? Yeah, if you have patience, and that's kind of the key. I'm going to be using 20 volume today. And we're going to be using foil. So 20 volume works really well because the foil incubates it and it allows it to keep lifting a little bit longer. So I'll use 20 volume for sure. Simone, what do you think about PM Shine's 10 PA? Love PAs. The PAs are really great. They're a pearl ash, I believe that's what it stands for. We just used them yesterday actually to tone something out. So big fan of the 10 PA. Can you share some of your foiling patterns? You're in luck. Today we're going to do that. Love Babylights. Looking forward to this. Dawn, awesome. Glad you're here. All right, cool. So Fura, no problem. No problem. If you can't make it to this show because you're too busy, you win. That's what we hope for. So all of you guys that are watching this and watch it every day, hopefully one day you will say to me, Matt couldn't make it because I was too busy in the salon, and that is okay. That is nothing to be sorry about. That's something to celebrate. All right, 20 volume only gives 1 to 2 levels of lift though, not in bleach, right? So we're gonna use lightener. Today we're gonna be using Joico Blonde Life Lightener. This will give you up to 9 levels of lift, and that's not necessarily based on the volume, that's based on the amount of time that you let it and the amount of time it doesn't dry out. So the way lightener works is as it dries out, it quits lifting. So when you put it in a foil, it doesn't dry as fast. When you put it in saran wrap, it doesn't dry as fast. So that's kind of the key, keeping that saturation, heavy saturation, that'll help build up that lift. Jess, you're right. 20 volume doesn't lift more than 1 to 2 levels with permanent hair color. As far as I know, that's what we were taught back in the day. But so don't be confused. That's the deal. So with color, it lifts 1 to 2 levels. With lightener, it'll lift multiple levels. We'll get her blonde with 20 volume for sure. All right, let's see where we're at here. What the bleach called? Who buy, please? Debbie, I'll share it with you one more time. I'm actually going to use 2 different lighteners today. I'm going to use Joico Free Play because it's a balayage lightener. So we're going to mix that up, and I should just get mixing so we don't take forever today. And then Joico Blonde Life lightener. So this is a powder lightener. This is a clay-based lightener for balayage. So 2 different things. So we're going to mix up Blonde Life first, and then I'll mix the rest. So let me move my little tray over here. All right, I'm starting to cool down. I was running around like a crazy man prior to the class. All right. I also, while I was running around like a crazy man, cannot find my tail comb, which I've had every day until today when I need it. And now I'm using this tail comb, which is a foreign object that I've never used before, and that's frustrating. Any of you guys have a comb that you can't do without, you understand my pain here. This is also my favorite part when it's all packaged up. All right. Really, Joico? Really, guys? Here we go. All right, so technically you're supposed to keep it in the bag, but I like the container. All right, so blue powder lightener. We got that in there. Put that down there. We got our little scooper. So I'm gonna do 1 scoop. So here's the deal. I don't measure lightener because I like a certain consistency. You could do 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 1.5, however you want to do it. I'm gonna mix up enough to get through this technique as well. If I was working with my client, I would probably do the minimum mixture, right? This is what I like to do in the salon. I like to do minimum mixture of the product. So I'd probably do a 1 to 2 ratio. So 1 scoop to 2 ounces of developer, 20 volume developer. And then if I needed more, I would go back and do it. So here's the thing when we talk about people talk about COVID charges and things like that. Me and my wife, we own a salon. And so I can kind of explain a couple things to you guys. We're not going to have a COVID charge, but we already have a charge for if somebody uses extra product, right? So, so to kind of break that down, if somebody comes in, they have 6 inches of root, and we have to use extra product, there's an extra product charge. So every time I go back and I mix more, then that's going to cost a little bit more money because we're using more products. It's not necessarily because of anything else. We already extra cleaned our stations. We already made sure our salon was clean and all of that stuff. So we're not going to charge extra for cleaning products and all of that, but we will charge for product usage. So, and the more product you use, the more time it takes, obviously, because they obviously have more hair, or they have, you know, they've waited longer to get their hair done. That's a typical thing in the salon. So that's what we charge for. Do you ever mix a little, Lisa, that's a good question. Of course they're calling now. So Lisa, it's a great question. And do you ever mix a little free play into your Blonde Life mixture? I heard it helps the lightener stick to foils. I do not do that. Not because it doesn't work. I've never tried it. But I think as hairdressers, sometimes we get a little too creative with certain things. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But for me, like, free play is a different type of lightener, and it has a different way of working. So I don't want to mess with that. So now we're going to go free play, 40 volume. This is probably not open. Oh, good, it's open. All right. So this is our clay base lightener. Clay base means that basically what it does, it creates an outer shell on the hair. So it's a little bit different consistency. And it kind of incubates itself instead of having to use foils. And it really creates a smooth feel when you paint it on the hair. So free play, 40 volume, developer. Again, I'm mixing this to my own consistency. I like it to be almost like a toothpaste consistency in it. I feel like with this music, I should be skipping while I stir. I'm walking my dog. Awesome. Nice job, Lynn. All right, getting that toothpaste consistency in there. Almost ready to roll. So my goal here is to mix up Babylights and Balayage. That's why I'm mixing both types of lightener. So that's going to be our technique today. What I don't want to do is Babylights all over the head. Sometimes you need to do that. For this particular case, I don't want to do that because I want to show you guys something a little bit easier, a little bit quicker to do in the salon. So do I feel like, so Amanda, good question. Do I feel like Joico Blonde Life is harsh on the hair? I've had clients complain about the smell and some stinging. So Amanda, this is what I would say. Harsh on the hair and harsh on the scalp are definitely different. Make sure, I mean, it's an on and off the scalp lightener, but make sure that you do not use too high of a volume. I wouldn't use over 20 volume if it's going to touch the scalp. And then, but I haven't really had that problem. I love it because it's powerful. That's really the key thing. That's the reason I use it, is because I want that lift. I want that power. I want that 9 levels when I'm working. So yeah, I think that's kind of a give or take, maybe a little bit. Any bleach I've used on scalp has a little bit of a feeling in it to it. So, all right, camera went off. We're good. All right, so now I'm gonna move over to a different camera because we're gonna show the technique here. See if I can get it to not be frozen. There we go. All right, so we're gonna zoom in. And what I wanna do is I'm gonna start in the back of this haircut, but what I wanna do is first show you guys the haircut. So you can see quite a bit of layering, movement, face frame. So what I wanna do is I wanna brighten up the hair around the face have it really bright throughout the entire top and really the entire look. But what I want to do is I want to create some depth underneath here in the inside, in the interior. So we're going to section it out first, and then we will go in and start applying the lightener. So sectioning here. And then you guys wanted to know foil patterns and all of that stuff. So this will be where you will learn that. Okay, so I'm going to work. Let's go diagonal. I want to go face frame first. I'm going to section that out. So we're going to go from the ear here, and we're going to go just behind the ear up to that kind of center crown area. And I want to make sure that I don't make my sections too wide, because obviously I'm putting a foil into them. So we'll do that. Pull this over. I'm going to clip that section away. Flip it. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite side here. So right behind the ear, I'm going to go up. I don't want to get in your way, but I might have to a little bit. So center crown down to behind the ear. There we go. Twist this up, clip it away as well. Guys, and just so you know, I can see the chat, but if I miss your question, I apologize. Yes, Chanel, that is true. Babylights all over takes forever. It does take forever. That's why we're going to break it up today. So we do those. We divide the head in half, right? So we got our division point. That's a little sketchy there, but that's okay. Life goes on. Now I'm going to go down here to the occipital bone, so a diagonal back parting, and then I'm going to go up, diagonal back, creating a triangle in that crown area. And I'm going to twist that up and away as well. Clip it. I'll show you guys as soon as we get it. So now we've got ourselves a triangle in the back. Straighten it out just a little bit. There we go. All right. So then now that I have that, what I'm going to do is separate right down, so a vertical section straight down center back. I'm going to comb away one of the sides, so you'll see that here. So I comb that side over, clip it away just so it's out of the way. Then I'm just going to work on this little panel here. I'm going to start in the very back. Some people like to start in the front. I don't really love it, so I'm not going to do it today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take diagonal partings, just like that, diagonal back parting. Lift this up, clip it like that, like so. And then I've got my foils because I'm going to throw a couple Babylights into the back panel first. So let me zoom in. You guys can see. Bring my lightener over here. Cool, we're ready. Let's do this. All right, so very small, thin section right at the hairline. Actually gonna take a little more diagonal on that. I really wanna capture the hairline here first. So just like that. I'm gonna bring this hair over. So that's super thin section, right? You basically see through it. And now I'm just gonna take and I'm gonna weave. Lordy, lordy, you can't see that. You go like this. There we go. We're getting there. We'll do it together. Piece of cake. There we go. All right, so I got this section. The hardest part is the camera, not the actual foil. So I'm just gonna go through and I'm weaving a very fine weave out of that section, right? So I'm just splitting, basically taking half the hair, putting it in my hand here. I'm gonna take out some of this behind the ear. I don't really want all that in there. So we get it there, grab my foil. This, and I put that up to the hairline like that. I come under here. And I'm gonna place to stick. So that really has a lot to do with consistency here. Get some of this off the brush. So we talked about consistency, adding a little bit of free play to the lightener. I think if you just mix it to be a little more of that toothpaste consistency in there, then you're going to have no issues with it. Like, it sticks really well to the foil. So I don't have any issues with that. So working that in the hairline. And one thing I don't like to do, I don't like to push too much in my foils. So I'll just, I don't swipe them because I don't want the lightener to go anywhere. I don't want it to bleed at all. So we'll work with it that way. All right, next section is going to be diagonal right next to that one. Thin, about 1/8 of an inch, just like that. I'll clip the rest away. And then I'm gonna take this and foil through. So just like that. Now, biggest thing for me when doing this technique is to just make sure that I take really tiny sections so that I can get as close to the scalp as possible. That's really what I'm trying to accomplish. There we go. I'll work that lightener back and forth. Now, if she had previously blonde hair, then and her ends were blonde, I wouldn't paint the lightener all the way through. I would just kind of figure out what pieces needed the blonde and then go in through that. All right, so I'm gonna do 2 more baby lights. Maybe 1 more, just 1 more. And then once I get that, then I can go in and I'll start doing some balayage in there. You might notice that these foils are black too. I don't know if I'll ever be able to find these again, but Fremar made them, and I like them because, you know, black kind of takes in heat. So if you're ever gonna put somebody under a little bit of that dryer, pop them up a little bit higher, I just think it makes sense. All right, so working that lightener back and forth. All right, so that is our baby lights on the bottom. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. So let me move over here a little bit. Let me see if I see any of your questions here. How to focus map. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Here we go. I can get it focused in for you guys if it's out of focus. That's what happens when you try to let the camera do it for you. Can't do that. All right, baby light. Through. Foil. That here. It's also a lot easier when your client's neck moves. There we go. Paint that through. All right, like that. So I just tap it again, and tap each side. Lock it in. All right, diagonal back again. And working through really tiny weave. This I want to slide up. All right, one more. Small weave. All right, so now I'll let this down. We got the other side down. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, this is where the technique will speed up a little bit. And you can imagine baby lights are, they take a while. Like if you wanna do the whole head, especially if you don't do it that often, they take a while. So now what I'm gonna do is this starts off a triangle right here. So now this is gonna start my balayage in the back. So I've got my balayage lightener now, Joico Free Play. So I pinch the hair just like that, and now I'm gonna work balayage. So just painting pretty much up to the scalp, and then creating a heavy saturation. So almost like that V shape, you guys can see it. Go through. Yes, I'm gonna put gloves on now. Not a fan of gloves. Alyssa, thanks. I love that you guys are all sharing tips in the chat. Makes me very happy. Keep it up. Even if you have tips for me. Because again, I love cutting hair. I do it for free. I have no issues coloring hair. I do it. I have clients. So don't think I don't. You know what I'm saying? So a little bit of saran wrap on there. And now this section's obviously wider, so I'm just gonna break it in two. And then I've got my section here that I can do nice V shape hand painting right through it. And I'm gonna go a little bit deeper in towards the middle, especially like if I'm trying to add depth into this technique. For me, like naturally hair does not have highlights really light in the interior here. So my goal is to go through and just make this as natural looking as possible. So I'll go a little bit deeper in the middle and then up higher towards the hairline and behind the ear on each side. So painting through. There we go. Got that. Look how fast this happens here. We just cover it with the saran wrap. Keep it moist. I know you guys love that. Keep it saturated. Keep it from drying up, because if it dries up, then it stops lightening. So now we're working up both sides of this triangle. So I'm going to work each side through with balayage. Again, not going up as high in the middle, but going up higher on the sides. There's that. Same thing over here. Why do you do the foil towards yourself? You know what? Everybody does things a little bit different. I was taught to do the foil towards myself. Some people do it away. I've seen it. I believe Jamie Dana does it that way. I don't know. It's just the way that I've always done it. All right. We got that painted through. Key thing with balayage, guys, and I've talked about this before, but you just want to make sure that you have heavy saturation where you really want it to be light, and you have consistent saturation through your entire section. Otherwise, some parts will get light and other parts will not. So that's really the key there. All right, last little bit on this side. Whoa. There we go. And we will paint. I would say it's easier to fold them towards yourself as well, in my opinion. I don't even know how to fold it away from myself. I could probably figure it out, but personal preference. All right, saturate those ends. Pop that brightness. Make sure it's even. All right, now we're moving into the triangle in the back. And for that, I'm going to do baby lights. Maybe not quite as intense, but I'm gonna do them up through this triangle. If your client just wanted some brightness in the front, most of the brightness in the front, you could really probably balayage this part too. But I really want to focus on these, on the baby lights throughout this. Yeah, I don't know Jamie's reasoning for folding away from herself, but it's intriguing. All right. So here we go. Babylights through. You could do these on a diagonal. I'm choosing to do them here horizontally. Just because that's what I'm feeling right now, but and because I'm gonna do basically most of this triangle through it, so I don't really feel like the angle is gonna matter that much. So I use the lightener to lock in the foil. Also, guys, you let me know. My thought is, well, I had two thoughts. The first thought was gonna be, hey, I will do this foil technique, and then tomorrow in class I will share with you the result. Or what I've now changed my mind and thought process to is that we could do a little Q&A while she processes, and then I could go rinse her really fast. I don't know what you guys will do during that time, but if you're watching this later, you could obviously fast forward it. Oh, I just changed life there a little bit. When I get higher on the head, that's how I foil. Couldn't have told you that before, but I do. I do. So you guys let me know. Do you want to do that? You guys can hang out and chat while I do that. And if you're watching this later in life, you could always fast forward a little bit, get to the end result after the Q&A. You guys let me know. It'll probably take me, let's say, 3 minutes, because she's not getting a wonderful experience in the shampoo room back there. She's getting the new COVID experience. Don't breathe, and I will wash you as fast as possible. Are you using 40 volume on the balayage? Yes, absolutely. Can you show some teasy lights? Yeah, maybe we'll tease up something here. It's a good thing about using a mannequin. She doesn't really have an opinion, and I'm not really that worried about sticking to the plan here. I'm definitely somebody that, oh look, went on the black side there. Definitely somebody that will go by the cuff. I don't really care. As long as we're teaching something here. So heavy saturation through. Show the results tomorrow. All right, I got that. Is that what everybody thinks? I'm fine with it because we're going to do a cut tomorrow. I could always show the results right away at the end. And it would make this class a little less, and it'll make you excited for tomorrow. So I'm fine with that. Still working horizontally across. I'll lower her a little bit down. You could totally do that. I love doing that. Oh, that's not it. Black side. I got nothing to hide, guys. You've known me pretty well at this point. This is where I'm like, when I'm with my clients, I'm literally already thinking about our haircut because can't wait to do it. It's gonna be a cool result though. You guys will like it, I promise. All right, I got 2 votes for today. 2 votes for wanting to see it today. Seen a vote that wants to see it tomorrow. Let's write today or tomorrow in the chat, and then I can easily read it. Just today or tomorrow. When do you want to see the end result? sounds funny because who would want to really see it tomorrow? But you never know. Yes, I'm using Framar foils. These guys here. Oh, here we go. So they're black on one side, silver on the other side. The black's cool because it'll attract heat. So anytime you want to lift up the hair a little extra, you got that black side. Thanks. Today, please. Today, tomorrow, today. Today. Whatever works. Nice. That wasn't one of the questions. That wasn't one of the answers. Whatever works. I'm just kidding, Blanc. Just kidding. All right. Totally gonna run out of lightener too. Typical salon scenario here. We're gonna get to the final stretch and it's gonna be like, oh, in another bowl. All right. Go. So if we talk about TZ lights, right? What do you guys think? You guys want to get involved in the chat. What is like your scenarios? When do you like to use TZ lights? Like what's your customer asking for? I think that'll help some people in the chat to see that. So like, why do a TZ light over just a baby light or a balayage or whatever? Let's talk about it. Also, who's back in the salon? If you're back in the salon, type in I'm back in the chat. If you're not back in the salon, type in how much time, when you think you'll be back, or if you have a date. Our governor still has not said a word. All right, last little bit here. I'm just really working on this top edge. So I take a little bit away. Nice thin section still. And then really, really tight weave. This is where that overhead camera would have been awesome. Next time. Side. Yeah. I'm back, Tennessee. All right, all right. I'm back. Cool. TZ light is easier for beginners. I mean, that's an easy thing to say, but I feel like TZ lights just give a totally different look. So yes, it's an easy way to kind of hide mistakes if you tease light, but it's really creating a root, right? Creating a root look, softer look. So like, let's say, I'll show you guys a TZ light right here on this top one, whatever. So if I take this section, right? And let's just say I'm gonna do baby lights, but I wanna soften the base. I can take and tease down, just tease it down a little bit, like that. And now I've got less hair up here and pushed most of the hair down there. So I wanna stay away from the root. That's kind of the key thing here. So as I put the foil on, now I'm just gonna softly paint, and let me turn. There we go. So now I'm gonna softly paint, not up where that hair is bunched in. That's kind of the biggest thing. You could use balayage lightener, you can use regular lightener. Typically I would use balayage probably, but we're in it with the powder lightener right now. So now the problem is, and why I say for beginners, this is kind of like, you don't want to just do this. I think a beginner thing is just to know how to do a weave foil. Like, you should know it. Because styles come in and come out. I mean, a lot of kids, I can't even imagine at this point, most kids that are in school, and I say kids like young in the industry, not kids like young in age, but most young professionals have grown up in the balayage era, and some of them went to school and never, like, foiling was never even thought about, probably, I would imagine. I mean, I don't know, I wasn't there, but like, I swear I went 2 years without really even foiling anything. And that was just because of the way the industry was. And now we're back to doing foils. So I can't imagine, if you never learned it, what it would be like just trying to figure it out again. Like, the first thing we learned in school was how to do a weave foil, I mean, Kelly Clarkson was huge when I was in school, so we were striping it up everywhere. All right, so to recap, Babylights here, balayage, Babylights, or weave foil. We kind of got a little bit impatient in that section, to be honest. And then now I'm gonna work the sides here, and we're gonna do more Babylights. I'm gonna be really tight towards the hairline, and then I'm gonna get a little softer towards the front, or towards the top, right? So when I go into the mohawk section, so right around the fringe and in this side area is where I'm gonna be the most intense, and by intense I mean small sections through here, and then really fine weaves and really close back-to-back foils, and that'll give me the brightness around the face that I'm looking for. And then through this middle part and into the top, I'll be a little more free, just so I can speed things up a little bit for the technique, right? So yeah, Lynn, I understand that we would rather freehand than foil, but the reality is they're different looks. So as things get popular or go in and out of popularity, we have to go back to doing them. I like hand painting more as well. It's easier. I like the look of it better too, most of the time. But that's why we're kind of combining techniques in this, because first off, I would charge thousands of dollars if I had to put 500 foils in somebody's head. I'm just kidding, but in my mind, that's what I really think. And then the other thing is, it takes a lot of time, right? So when you take up time in the salon, is money that can be made. They say time is money. Say whatever, but the reality is time is money. So the more time you spend on something, the more you should be charging for it. And the more you charge for it, sometimes it doesn't fit the clientele. So if you want to find something that will fit your clientele and make sense in the salon, then you gotta do it that way. All right, I gotta mix more color. So I'm gonna go to here. What's up, guys? Good to see you. Hanging in with me. You're doing it. Good job. Mix a little more Blonde Life lightener. Hello. All right. A couple more scoops and 20 volume. I could up the volume. Actually, I might. I'm gonna up it. Guys, this is a mannequin, so I'm gonna go 40 volume. On a human, I would go 30 if I wanted to pop the front, because now the back's been sitting for a while. So now I can go a little heavier with my lightener, if that makes sense. Oh, making Oh, good Lord. Next color class, I'm going to have somebody here helping me. 100%. Cutting's one thing. This color stuff is too much. Too much to do. Too much to think about. All right, where are we at here? I bought a brush yesterday. Lynn, you're the best. I haven't talked about that at all today because I got my mind on my color and my color on my mind. Shop FSE. Lynn, thank you so much for buying a brush yesterday. Any of you guys need tools, combs, clips, brushes, scissors, all that stuff, we've got it on our website available for purchase, shopfse.com. And also remember, if you have a question, type Q, put your question. Kosh has his question here. Here you go, bud. Let's see. Wait, I got everything up here. All right. We're applying the color to each section on the foil. What about the section underneath that is stuck to the foil? How can we apply color over there? Is it necessary to apply there? So, what's up, Claudia? See you on the chat. Bought a razor, love it. Thanks, Rita. All right, Akash, let me try to understand your question. So, I'm guessing you're talking about the hair underneath. So when I take my next section, I'll try to explain that. So let me get this camera over here. Let's go to our camera, our head camera here. So I'm assuming, Akash, you're talking about, and let me know if I'm wrong, but when I take my section here, so I'll go diagonal back through this. I think you're talking about when I weave. Man, you guys can't see that. So when I weave right here, fine weave through this section, this hair is what I think you're talking about. The fact that I'm not coloring it, and should we worry about it? So it depends on the look, Akash. So I think key thing is, for this, we're doing majority blonde for the hair, but not everything is gonna be blonde. So there's gonna be depth in it. There's gonna be some hair that's not blonde. You could, if you wanted to, if they wanna be blonde everywhere, but you don't wanna go all the way to the base the whole time, then you could do something like I'm about to show you, which would be take this foil, wrap this foil up like that, and then this hair underneath, you could literally hand paint with balayage if you wanted to, just to add a little bit of brightness to that. The problem with that is, for me, you don't have a lot of control with that section. Make sure that you somehow incubate it, because it probably will end up a little warmer than the rest of the section. All right, so I'm working my way up to this hairline. Once I get to the hairline, and the hairline has been foiled, then I'm going to shift to the opposite side. So I'm really just trying to get that hairline in first. I'm trying to work a little faster now, so excuse if I'm not talking or seeing the chat as much. Let's talk about the same weave section. So if that's the case, then I'm not sure. If somebody understands what Akash is like, what his question is, and Akash, if you could ask it in a different way, maybe. It could be I'm not processing it because of what I'm doing right now too, but I don't think I understand what hair you're talking about, because we're coloring all of this hair in the foil, all the way up to the scalp. So, and there's underneath the hair, if you're talking about the hair, like, so sometimes you don't get saturation underneath. Babylights are great for that because it's such a small section that you get saturation all the way through, no matter what. So, all right, last little bit. Okay, all the way up to the hairline. Now I'm going to get a little thicker with my sections once I get past this hairline area. Go. And I promise, if I haven't answered your question yet, we're going to do Q&A while this processes. So I will go through, find your questions. That's why it's important to put that Q in front of it so I can make sure I don't miss any of them as I browse through it. So working that lightener back and forth at a diagonal, so back and forth, making sure every bit of it is saturated. Go. So I'm really leaving out the fringe area, which is something I want you guys to kind of notice as I'm working. Can't notice anything because you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm leaving out this fringe area right now because I want to do that last. I'm going to do a different kind of angle with that than I am the sides. So all right, I think people are jumping in to help out with that question. So thank you guys for that. And I definitely want to encourage you guys, anytime I'm teaching a class, if you're in the chat and you know the answer and you can help somebody out, I know some of you guys jump in on people's things, but don't be afraid to also help answer questions, because that's what we're about, being a community, you know, bringing each other together. And while I'm up here opening up this platform for you guys, but at the same time, it's really about you guys communicating to each other and learning. So building friendships. I know some of you guys started following each other on Instagram. It's very cool. So weaving through. I'm gonna turn it so you guys can see. So Akash, if I didn't get to that question yet, so I do a lot of saturation over this panel here, and then once I get a lot of saturation on the hair, then I'll start working diagonally back and forth, which will move the hair within the foil and make sure that everything gets saturated through it. Just like that. All right, I'm gonna do a couple more and then we're gonna move to the other side and we'll be on our final home stretch here in this technique. Yeah, it's a good tip. Who's the tip? Let me post Melissa's tip here. There you go. It's a good tip from Melissa. For me, I try to make sure that I just don't, when I'm balayaging, I don't really put cotton just because it's an extra step, but what I'll do is and just make sure that my saturation stays very heavily on top of the hair, and I do not work it through, only work it through the ends on the bottom to get it fully saturated, but through the top, I don't really paint it that close. But if you're going right to the scalp with balayage, which a lot of people do that, then you want to use a little bit of that cotton just to separate it from the scalp. Keep it off the scalp, really, because clay-based lightener doesn't really expand, which is nice, but it does, you know, if it's heavily saturated, you will see the marks through it. All right, this is the last section on this side. It'll be interesting to see what that one TZ light that we did is gonna look like in there. That'll be fun. What razor is that, please? Cecilia, I don't know. I'm not using a razor. I want to challenge you guys right now. So if there's anybody in the chat or watching this right now that has never posted before, that has never commented, because this happened for the last couple days. Somebody sent me a message later or text me and said, hey, I've never commented before, but I just wanted to say that I really like the show. What I want you guys to do, those of you that are hanging back in silence, is just write, and all of us do it, not just them, but all of us. Where are you watching from? Post that in the chat. Just post your state or your country, whatever you want to write. It'll give you something to write, because I want to see everybody getting involved a little bit. So, yeah. All right, so we're doing this side here. Here's one thing. I love precision hair cutting. I am not a precision hair colorer. That is for sure. All right. Cool, love seeing it. Thank you guys for jumping in, answering questions, sharing. Love seeing where, geez, so cool. It's a beautiful thing about, you know, we've been doing internet content and live classes and all that stuff for 6 years now. And that's like the beauty of it, and what a lot of people don't, hair companies don't, well, they're understanding now, but the world is one, right? Now it's becoming one. It was before hard to reach people in other countries and share knowledge and become a community and have friends, and now gotta love the internet. All right, so Babylights happening, just popping, real fine foil like that. Like, who thought we would have somebody from Rhode Island and someone from the Netherlands in the same room? You know what I'm saying? At the same time, but you're in the comfort of your own room. It's the best. It's the best. Oh, yeah, I guess I should tell you guys where I'm at. So I'm in a town. I'm in the US, in a town outside of Philadelphia, about 50 minutes outside of Philadelphia. Small town called New Hope. All right, a couple more to the hairline, and then I go a little thicker with my sections once that happens. I'm not going to bring in the actual fringe, so take that out. So I'm going to stick this part. See how that's a little further up? So I'll stick that, and then I'm just going to shift this a little bit to bring it up in there. I don't know if that's the right way, but it's the way I always do it. All right. There we go. And now we're going to start shifting. We are literally on our home stretch here. Working our way up to the parietal ridge area, which is right around here. So I got a few more foils to go, and then we're going to work that mohawk section to finalize everything through it. Let's see. Poland. I love New Hope. I'm in New Jersey. Right on, Cindy. It's cool. Yeah, New Hope's a cool town. It's a tourist town. So we're small, but we have a lot of cool little shops, and people keep coming, showing up here. So it's a pretty cool place to be. All right. So as I finish up these last few foils, any of you guys that don't know yet, we have an app. The app is FSE Now. If somebody could write that in the chat, FSE Now. That is our app. It's a community-based app, so it's for professionals. So if you're not a professional, don't sign up there. I'll tell you something else to do. It's for professionals. You build a profile, and then you can share your work. Everybody can see it, like it, comment on it. And then also all of our education videos are on there. So it's basically a Netflix for hair with an Instagram for hair all at the same time. And that was really the goal. And then your profile gets shared. And this is where if you don't do hair and you're looking for a hairdresser, you can go to stylistlocator.com, and all the stylists that sign up on there, they build their profile, and their profile shows up on stylistlocator.com so people can see your work, see where you live, see where you your information, and then they fill out a profile and they can send you a message right on the app to book an appointment. So it's a pretty cool tool that we're growing right now. We have thousands of hairdressers on there already, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. So just if somebody could type, yeah, there you go, guys. Thanks so much. FSE Now, go check it out. Download it. It's free, 100% free. So no excuses. If you like education, go check it out. And you guys will be excited next week. I already booked Andrew Carruthers is going to come on the show and do some education from Sam Villa. Working on Sam himself. He's going to come on here too. We got Colin Caruso from Paul Mitchell's coming on here. I'm doing a chat next week. I think it's next week with the president of education for Moroccan Oil. Should be really fun. Minerva Beauty hooked me up with that. Thank you to those guys. Oh, and Keon the Barber is coming on Monday. So tons of cool classes in education next week, and really cool people coming on too. So you guys will love Keon. and all the other guys coming on there as well. Just realized how many guys are booked. Gotta book some girls on here. Let's see. Last couple, we got 2 more sections going horizontal like this, slight diagonal back, and then I'm gonna work that fringe and mohawk section. And man, we are close, guys. Yeah, another great week for sure, Tiffany. The goal is, I mean, I love doing these classes for you guys every day, but obviously we're 35 in, and I want to bring on some of my friends that I know are super talented that you guys will love, and let them kind of showcase things as well. And, you know, some of the brands out there that may be watching this, like, if you want to reach out, I'd love to have some of your artists come on here as well. Share some new stuff that's going on. All right. Where are we at here? A couple more. Section off this fringe area here. This little box. I want to go one more section up after this one. Just looking for that balance a little bit in there. I want to go to Morocco. Nice. Nice one. Hey guys, if you're enjoying the class, right? Yes, in the chat. If you like this class. I'm doing my best here, sweating it out. Actually not sweating that bad now. It's all good. Lights are down. It just poured down rain outside. Must be cooling off outside. Cool, good to see you, Tiffany. Michelle, awesome. Glad you're liking it. I'll never claim to be the most amazing colorist, so I do love teaching. I know a lot about color, especially color theory, things like that. But I also love just playing around, creating techniques as well. So kind of what we're searching through today. Little baby light, balayage. All right, last one here. One more weave foil. Thanks, Glennis. Appreciate that. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. Also, if you guys have specific techniques that you want to learn, and even if I don't know it, how to do it, I'll look it up and learn it to teach you guys, because I like learning new things too. So I put my little spin on it. Just let me know if there's like a technique, specific technique that you're wanting to understand or learn. One thing for me is being an educator or teacher, like I like trying to figure out how to explain things. So I feel like maybe if you couldn't understand it from somebody else, maybe I would be able to help with that. We'll see. All right, we're going fringe. All right. Let me this is where obviously, I mean, Melissa, actually, you know, what's actually really funny is I don't really profess to be the best at anything. I definitely am better at haircutting than coloring, but I'm not the best at any of it, because you can always, there's always somebody that's better than you, and there's always something to learn, right? always somebody that's better than you. And maybe they're not better than you at certain things. Maybe they're just better than you at other things. Like maybe they're not as great at coloring or cutting hair, but they're better at marketing, or they're better at, it's always funny to me, like artists and educators get frustrated because somebody becomes a little bit more popular than them and maybe they're not as good as them. But a lot of that has to do with they're better than them at other things. And maybe those other things are more important, and maybe they're just nicer people, or maybe they're more connected with their audience, or, it's not just about, not just about being the best at one thing. You gotta be the best at multiple things. When you look at the salon industry now, as a salon owner, stylist, if you're trying to grow yourself, you can't just be good at coloring hair or just be good at cutting hair. You have to be good at being around people, having a conversation with people, making them want to come back to you more often, right? Because if you're just good at cutting, I would guarantee, if you're just a really good hair cutter or colorist, but you're not great at building relationships, then I guarantee your frequency of visit, which is how many times people come see you every year, is less. There's people that aren't as good at cutting hair or coloring hair that have a very high frequency of visit because their clients love being around them. And even if they don't need their hair done, they still come see them. And that's a lot of times what makes a successful stylist, is that. A lot of times I would say people that are educators might go that route because it's more of an ego-driven thing that is less, it's more of a look at me kind of thing than having to, and maybe they're not as successful behind the chair. I wouldn't say that's everybody, for sure. There's a lot of people that are good at both, but the people that cry about it are probably those people, I would assume. That's a fun conversation. That's right, people loving industry. So working this front piece, popping that brightness in the front there. Getting a little smaller in each section, working our way up. Almost out of lightener again. Super. What do we say when we run out of lightener? What do we say? Say this. Where is it? Oh, I gotta do this. Run out of lightener. It's like awesome. It's my favorite. Out of lightener. Yep. Oh. Yes. Let's do it again. Scoop more in there. Adele, I'm making more, okay? I'm making more. Oh, Lord. Here we go. One more time. Yeah, it's true. It is more money. 40 volume again. 40 volume. I get it, Melissa. 5 bowls. That's a lot. This is going to be the new Corona ratios. Huh, thanks. Thanks, Grace. Appreciate that. More money. I need like a cha-ching button. More money. The reality of this is, not all of us have assistants. Nope, we don't. When you don't have an assistant, more money. You look so tired. Thanks, Akash. Akash, let's have a little lesson. That's not a nice thing to say to somebody. I'm not tired, I'm sweaty. I'm working for you guys here. I'm working hard. What do you guys do? You're just sitting there, Akash. What are you doing? I'm just kidding. All right. It is true though, because I watch these things back and I'm like, man. It makes me grab one less Reese cup every night. I promise. Go to grab that Reese cup and I'm like, oh, you remember what you looked like yesterday. You remember. All right, let's finish this thing. Oh, let me get other camera. It is, Erica. I turned it up. Eating ice cream. Awesome. Yeah, I turned the music up because I just sometimes need a little pick-me-up in my life. I actually added new music to it today, and I forgot to... Well, I downloaded new music for the show today, but I forgot to put it on there before I went live. So, tomorrow, we'll have some new tunes. It won't get so repetitive. I have to have music when I'm working because like right now I'm literally just listening to myself. I hear the click of you guys talking. Every time you post a chat, I hear a click in my ears, but it's very, I don't know, I like not hearing myself breathe is really what it is. Plus, when I'm working in the salon, I have music on. Or if I'm working in here teaching or recording a video for YouTube, always have music on. So kind of brings you guys into my vibe. It wouldn't be this music, but I can't play just any music on here. But I use Epidemic Sound, and they're great. So if any of you guys ever need music for videos and you don't want the copyright, they should probably give me an affiliate for that. But I like Epidemic Sound. They have great music. I use it all the time. I don't like nuts. No one can work like you, Matt, handling technology and seeing the chat and teaching. Amazing. Thanks. I gotta be honest, you're probably kinda right. Like, this is why I know that this is why companies haven't replaced, like, why they can't do this yet, because you would need cameramen, you would need people watching the chat, like, you would need so many people and it would be too expensive. they wouldn't invest in it. So I definitely have job security as of right now. All right, so that's the front of the head, guys. I'm on this stretch of this final section. Super excited to finish this and just talk to you guys for a second and let it process. We have been really putting in the work here. Really, glad next time somebody says, let's make a Babylight video, I'll be like, I did that, and you should go watch it, because I'm not making one for just a little while. Cool. Foil section. It's really important though, guys, right here, especially in this mohawk section, to be very small with your each section you take. Don't rush it. Don't be impatient, because you'll get Kelly Clarkson, and that's not what you want, right? So even as I'm working through here, I might mix this up a little bit, because I'm already thinking that in my head that I don't want that. And this might be me just freaking out from my school days, but I'm gonna now go diagonal. So I'm gonna work crisscross through this section just to break it up a little bit. So slight diagonal, clip, away. Hold this here, weave, and then put in a foil. So it's almost like a brick lay, if that helps you guys a little bit. I'll try to zoom out. Again, I wish I had the overhead, but I promise I had to order something for it to happen, and it didn't come like it was supposed to today. Blame FedEx. Yeah, let me see. So brick lay type pattern. Let me get a little more saturation on this here. Thanks so much, Manuela. Appreciate it. All right. So now I went diagonal this way. So now I'm going to go diagonal back this way. Clip. Weave. We're doing good today, guys. You guys are killing it today. A lot more people on than we normally do. Can you guys do me a favor and just hit that share button if you can. If you did it already, I appreciate it. When you share, say shared in the chat. And if you're on YouTube, it's pretty easy to take the link. Actually, you could just hit share right from YouTube. You just share it onto Facebook or something. Because I want to get those Facebook numbers up. We got about 300 people on Facebook total on our different platforms. So we're about 500 strong right now. So you guys are killing it. Good job. So brick lay pattern, guys. So crisscross. So you see how this foil's sitting over here. This one's over here. Now I'm going to go back over here. And they're almost cutting over each other. So I wonder if I can show this a little better. I'm going to tilt her head down so you can see it. And go like this. So what I'm doing is I've got this foil here that I placed. So I went this way. Then I went over here, section that way, lay a foil. Now I go back over here and I'm crisscrossing over top of that other section, so that every time I do it, it crisscrosses over it. So when it falls, it's gonna fall very diffused. You're not really gonna know where it comes from, and that's the goal of this whole thing. Maybe I can even foil from this. Yeah, it's good. Awesome, I see all of you guys, you're the best. Cool. Kathy, thank you. Chanel, thank you. Erica, thank you. And everybody that's just joining, if you've never watched this show before, type new in the chat if you're new. Let's let everybody say hi to you. We got OGs, we got Lynn, we got Jess, we got Akash, And what other OGs we got in the chat today? We got a lot of the originals. 35 episodes in, guys. We do this every day live. If you guys could, if you want to text me, that way I have your phone number. I can let you know when I go live, just in case anything ever changes. Like today, it was supposed to be noon, but we didn't go till 1. So I was able to send a text out to all of you guys and let you know. You can text me. Here's my phone number. Let me put that. I'll put it at the bottom here. So there's my phone number scrolling across. So you guys can see that. And honestly, that's my number. So if you guys ever have a question about something, you can send a text and ask it, which is pretty cool. Awesome. Love seeing all the new people. You guys are great. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a part of it. You're now part of the coolest community in hair ever. Just kidding. I just made that part up. But so happy you're here. I'm crisscrossing this pattern. We did Babylights throughout the entire head shape, except for underneath the crown to the occipital bone, we did balayage, just to save a little time, even though this has taken a while, just to save a little bit of time in the technique. So we mixed up. We also threw in a teasy light just to teach it, but we'll see what that looks like at the end. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the end result. We've made that executive decision as a group. I'm going to do Q&A while this process is up. And then when we feel like we've got it blonde enough, I'm going to take a 3-minute timer and I'm going to go wash her out and get her back here, blow her dry for you guys. It's going to be the longest class in the history of free salon education. Just kidding. I'm not kidding though. That's actually probably true. So I'm going to bring this up. Just working that zigzag parting back and forth. Thanks, Kim. The number for the text is right here. Right here. See? 215-608-2612. It'll come back. 215-608-2612. If those of you guys that have to go to bed because you're in a part of the world that is super late, some of you guys are watching, it's like 4 a.m. right now. I appreciate that. If you have to go to bed, I promise this will be available later for a rewatch. And I'll be back live tomorrow again for you guys. We're going to do some hair cutting tomorrow. That would be Jess. Yeah, Jess is in Australia and it's super late there. Oh, it's 36. See, look at that. You guys are so good. You know what the episodes are more than I do. Nice work, guys. All right, seriously, like 2 more foils. Here we go. We need like, I need a song that's like, get it done song. I don't think this is. All right, last couple pieces. Almost there. Tight weave. It's like a weave-a-thon. Oof. You guys with me? Feel me? It's 36, but it should be 37. Why? Because I missed one? Or did I write 36? I was actually thinking that yesterday when I was making the thumbnail and posting when I was going to be live or whatever, and I wrote 35 or whatever I wrote on it, but I was like, I don't know if I've changed that in a while, so it might be more than that. So, good thing I have you guys with me here. All right, last bit here. Home stretch. 2 more sections. Go. sun's coming up. Where are you at? Who is this, Amy? I also thought the sun was coming up through the ice-covered trees. Where are you? Erica. That just made me cold. I'm not sweating anymore. Cold now. Oh, jeez. All right, one more. One more. Two more. It was too thick. You can't get rushed. Not when you've come this far, you know what I'm saying? She is like, she can't even hold her head up anymore. She's falling asleep. She's literally falling asleep. Oh yeah, we got Snowden in the chat too. OG there. Guess what, guys? Didn't run out of lightener. Didn't. Just enough. There we go. Final. This is it. This is it. Here we go. Weaving through. The weave-a-thon is over. All right, guys, if you have a question, type Q, put your question. We're going to do Q&A now for just a little bit while this process is through. And then I'm going to go rinse it real fast and then show you guys the end result. For those of you that want to hang in and see it. Otherwise, I would recommend stay in to check it out. It's going to be very exciting. Look at all them foils. This girl's gonna be blown. All right, let's see. So Tracy, I agree. Foils are time consuming, but at the same time, there's nothing that gets it brighter and lighter than very small foils throughout the head. So let me bring my camera back here. And then I'll start answering your guys' questions as well. So let me zoom out. Okay, so oh, powder liner everywhere. Okay, so let's go through some of your questions, guys, as we let her process here. And I'm gonna pick her up here so we can watch her as we go. You can see the brightness already though in the back here, the balayage part, super bright, tons of lift. So, and then if it was my client, obviously, if I was worried about her more than I am right now, I'm not worried about her, but I would start checking those foils, especially the first ones. And if I felt like they were super bright, then I would start taking the foil out, spraying it down with water, wiping them off so that they didn't get any lighter. And that would be pretty much and I would just watch it all as it went around that way. All right. Amy's saying, what volume did you use? So I used 40 volume on the front here, but I would use 30 volume on a real person. This is a mannequin, so I wanted to pop it up a little bit. So let's just say 30 volume with powder lightener on the front. I use 40 volume clay-based balayage lightener free play from Joico on the back, which is this lightener here. So I used this Blonde Life lightener, 20 volume on the very back Babylights underneath here. Then I switched to free play to do the balayage, Joico free play balayage lightener all the way up to from the occipital bone or occipital bone up. And then this triangle that we did in the back, I went back to my powder lightener, Joico Blonde Life, and I went 20 volume again, 20 volume all the way up here. Then when I started working in the sides, I went Joico Blonde Life lightener and 30 volume, let's say, all the way through here, through the front, just because I wanted to get a little quicker lift on that part of the hair, if that makes sense. So that's what I did throughout that, hopefully that will get you guys there. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, I see lots of questions, so I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go up a little bit, and I'm going to work my way back down in the questions. So if you guys have one, post them. Do you charge? So Barbara's asking. I'm going to start with Barbara's question. If I don't get to your question, please repost it. But do you charge by the number of foils you use? That's a great question. I don't charge by the number of foils, but I'll charge based on we in the salon, what we charge for is like a full foil with a standard amount of product. So basically the way that we break up pricing is, all right, it's a full foil. This is how much it costs. This is how much product comes with that. If we have to go with more product, then we charge for the more product that we use. So like, let's say an additional bowl, which is another scoop of lightener. Maybe a full foil comes with 2 scoops of lightener, and then you work through the head. And if for some reason they have more hair, they have a higher density, they need more product, then we would go back in and do an additional bowl charge for the additional product, because they just have thicker hair. Thicker hair means more time, more product. So that's how we charge for that. So we have a base price of a full foil, half foil, partial foil, balayage. All of that stuff has a base price with a standard amount of product. And then anything above and beyond that standard amount of product is an upcharge on it. Let's see. I know all pricing is different, but what would you charge for this service? So this to me is a full foil type style. So it just depends. All pricing is different. In my area, my haircuts are $100 for new customers, and then the like this type of foil work would be at least $250, probably $300 for this kind of like amount of foils. If I do a full balayage, it's definitely differently priced, but that's probably how I would price this out in the salon. Do you promise to take my suggestions in the future? Yes. Because we did the Babylights. Yeah, I do, Jess, but this was a tough one. This one was fun, but tough. Appreciate you guys giving me this challenge today. It was for sure. Interesting one. Let's see, Q. So how much time will you leave it? So I'll probably only leave it. I don't think I'll have to leave it on much. It's just those top foils that are going to be kind of the hardest. So hopefully they'll lift in the next 10 minutes. That would be the goal, but we'll see. Hopefully not too much longer. If it goes much longer than that, then we'll push it till tomorrow for sure. So we'll see after I get through all the Q&A. If it's not processed, then we'll go tomorrow with it. If it is processed, because I'd like it to be bright and blonde, obviously, too. I don't want to sacrifice it not being blonde to take it out too soon. We shouldn't do that in the salon. We shouldn't do it here. Look at my fingers, totally bleached up. Do you do updos? Adele, I don't do updos. Great question, but I do have Danielle in the salon that does updos. Carly's getting into it as well in the salon. Other people do it. They just don't take it serious. So I see Carly and Danielle practicing it, And that's like, for me, when I see people actually putting in work outside of just doing it behind the chair, when you're actually learning and pushing yourself, that's when, for me, like, that's what makes a great teacher of it, and somebody that's progressive in it. I don't want, like, I could show you an updo, but I haven't looked at an updo or learned an updo since early 2000s. So it would be ridiculous. Like, I could show you how to put in a French twist or something, but nothing very cool, and I don't even know what's cool in updos. But we will bring people on here, and that's kind of where we partner with other companies, or we have people on our team come in here and they'll teach you classes on that, so that we have it on the channels. Especially like maybe when Sam comes on, maybe he'll do something like that because he's great at it, great at explaining it. So we'll see on that. Great questions. If you're so Akash had one up here. Let's see, Akash, where are we at? Is there a shampoo for every hair color like purple shampoo? Do we have yellow shampoo, green, red, blue, orange shampoo, etc.? Please emphasize more on that. So great question. Yes, some brands have that stuff. I know that some of them came out with different things like brown shampoo. Like intensity shampoos, people did come out with them. I don't know brands off the top of my head. I'm sure you guys could share in the chat and let people know if you know of some, but I know there are color intensity type shampoos out there. So post those guys if you can for Akash, and he can look at the brands and stuff. Let's see. Yes, you can absolutely watch again on the app for sure. This will be, it's on the app now. You can watch it when it's over, to watch it back. I did put in a queue, but don't know what happened. All right, Phyllis, I'll be looking for that question. If your client wanted all over color and blonde, would you do that all over color first or foil the whole head? So it depends. So if they have gray hair, then what I would do is, great question, Tiffany. So if they had gray hair, then I would cover the gray first. I would go through, probably do an all over touch up at the root really softly through the base. And then I would go through and do my highlights. That's typically in the salon what I would choose to do for that result. The other thing is if they wanted an all over color, but they didn't have gray, then I would go in with a demi in between all these foils and just put all over color on it. Scalp to ends, just paint it through. Or I would go through at the very end when I wash it all out, and I would process a demi color glaze, like a glaze color, over the whole thing to add a tone to the whole thing as well. So those would be the few options that I would say work best for me. Let's see. Jay Greenwald. Matt, could you do all the foils, then painting the hair left out with balayage? Absolutely. That's like that's a cool idea, especially if you're just, if your client wants to be even blonder than this, you could take and hand paint through some of these foils like this. So just going through, hand paint them, go individually if you want. And all of this hair you could paint to be much, just a little bit lighter, brighten it up a little bit. That's a good question. Cool. What is the underneath in the back? So underneath, again, we did the Babylights underneath. So similar foils to this are under there. And then this is all balayage. So we did balayage sections up to this kind of crown area here. And then we had a triangle in the back that we foiled with Babylights, or like a weaved foil through that part. All right. Do you use Olaplex Enlightener? I don't use Olaplex. I do use the Joico. So if it was a client, I would use Joico Defy Damage Pro Series 1 right here. So what you do is you take this product and take about inch wide sections and you just spray the product on the hair and you brush it through. This is before you lighten the hair. And then this is your bond protectant, bond protector. So basically it keeps the bonds from breaking and damaging the hair. And it also helps brighten your highlights. So anybody that you're trying to get a little bit brighter, this helps as well. So you don't have to actually put it in the product or in the lightener. You can just spray it on the hair. Works great. Love super bright highlights. That's right, me too. Yeah, Michelle. So I think I just answered that question. So yes, you could lighten the ends that are out for sure. You could even do tease highlights on those if you just want to soften it a bit. Jess, that's actually so on bad mannequins. So like the hair does get damaged pretty easily, but on pivot point mannequins, I've never had a problem really damaging the hair. I've left it on quite a while. So definitely make sure that you get good quality mannequins when you go to do these kind of services, so that you don't have those issues. Macklin, I think is your name. I want to open my own salon one day. Any advice? Don't go too big. So I think that was one of the benefits of what we did. Our process was a little bit different. Me and my wife, Christina, we bought our salon. We had an opportunity to buy it. I was already working there. So it was a little bit different process. But if I was going to open one by myself, not by myself, but if me and Christina were going to open one and I didn't work in one already, and I wasn't going to buy that salon, then what I would say is start small. You literally don't need a big place. And the higher the rent, the more the stress. So just start off small and grow your brand and do it. You know, if you start with a 2-chair salon, like I think this is where people get afraid, right? People get afraid because they think they need to open the one salon that's going to be their salon forever. I would argue with saying that maybe opening a 1-chair salon or 2-chair if you want an employee first with a low rent in a good area would be smarter than opening a 12-chair salon in a good area, trying to do that from the ground up. And then when you and the other employee outgrow the space in a couple years, you get a new space. And don't be afraid of, one thing that always freaked me out and what I would think would hold people back is that they think they got to spend a ton of money on a salon. You literally need a mirror, a shampoo bowl, and a chair, right? And that's it. That's all you need. And the more simple it is, the better. So don't be don't overthink it. Don't overdo it. The more debt you get in, the worse it is. Salons don't make a lot of money, but they're a great way to have a freedom in your life. So, you know, just think about it that way. So this is my process. I would open a salon, 1 to 2 chairs, probably 2 chairs, maybe 3, get an employee or 2 and then grow with them. And then as that grows, then I would start looking at another space in a couple years that would maybe be 6 chairs, 4 to 6 chairs, and then see how that grows. And beyond that, I never want a salon bigger than that. So that's just kind of my personal opinion. A lot of people own bigger salons. I like educating, and I don't like stressing about too many employees on that end of it. So, you know, that's my thoughts. So just don't overdo it. Don't overspend, and know it's going to take a couple years to grow it. So you got to have a little bit of money for that. But if you already have a clientele, as long as you get a low rent, you should be able to pay it. All right. Teresa, I did use 40 volume in the front, but I only did that because it's a mannequin. I would use 30 volume if it was a person. In foils, I very rarely would ever use 40 volume. So Akshay, so good to see you. We're going to do a men's cutting on Monday with Keon the barber. So that's going to be really awesome. I'm psyched about this class because he's super talented, and I love learning things. So, and I know I'm going to learn a lot from watching him. So I'm excited for that. So Monday we'll be doing men's cutting. What volume did you say on the clay base? So I use 40 volume on the back on the balayage part. Are you using toning after? I'm not going to tone today because I want to get it shampooed quickly and then back out here so I can show you guys the end result. So I'm not going to tone, but I would tone in the salon for sure. And I'll probably do another video of a toner or a toning technique, or maybe we'll do a shadow root on it. Will depend on what we end up doing with that. All right. Do you charge? So I answered that. Will you be adding toner? Answered that. Even after bumping up the volume in the front, do you still find yourself having to pull foils in the back? Sometimes, not always, but I'm slower with foiling. So some people can do that a lot faster. For me, I'm a little bit slower. So I do find myself sometimes pulling the foils in the back, wetting them down, wiping them off, and then letting the front process. So this is a great question. How do you decide which toner to use on the client after you highlight? It depends on what the client wants, what the client wants the result to be. And then it depends on, from that, what result you got. So obviously our goal is always to lift to a level above our end result that we want. So let's say that a client wants ashier highlights, right? So, and we're gonna bring her to a level 8. Like if she's gonna overall live at a level 8, which I think a lot of people are freaked out. Everybody thinks 9 and 10 is the only way to go. It's the blondest way. For me, level 8s are great. I would lift her to a level 9, bring her back to a level 8, and I would get the tone that I wanted. What happens is, a lot of times we're trying for a level 9 and we're going to tone her to a level 9, but we're only getting to a level 8. And that's why we end up with warm color and not the result that we're looking for. So make sure that anytime you want a result to be successful, you got to lift them above where you want it. And then obviously 10 is as high, pale 10 is as high as we get. You can do anything at a pale 10, but most of the time it's not realistic. So lift them to above and tone below. And then that way you'll have more success. All right. Yeah, cool, Jess. For sure. Might be kind of fun to have her on. Why don't you hook her up, have her send me a DM on Instagram. And then I can, check out her work and all of that, obviously. And maybe we can have a conversation. I'd love to have somebody new on. And if there's ever an educator that you guys want to see on this show, please post them in the chat or send me a message or text me or whatever and let me know, because I obviously can't bring on everybody and it's got to make sense. But for the most part, I would love suggestions of who you guys want to see, because I'm sure we can get them on here. What's the app? That's a great question, Susan. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to play the app promo real quick for you guys. And then we'll come back and I'll obviously, we'll check out the foils here. But check out, this is our app, FSE Now. Hope you guys like it. Pretty cool, right? So that's the FSE Now app. So you can download it on freesaloneducation.com, or you can download it just by going to the App Store and type in FSE Now. Also, let's see. Make sure you text me. So I've got tons of people on here. Super excited. I'm so glad you guys are hanging out. I mean, I'm not even doing the hair yet at this point, but I know you guys want to see the end result, and I'm excited for it. Hopefully it'll be done soon. Make sure you send me a text. Just say hi to 215-608-2612. The greatest part about the text system is that I get your information as soon as you text me. And then the terrible part about social media is that they control everything, right? So a lot of people that follow, I've over 1 million people that follow free salon education on the internet. A lot of them would probably like to see these classes, but we only have 500 people on. Why do we have 500 people on? Because the internet doesn't show everybody that I'm live, because they only show some. So the text is cool, because if you sign up for text, no matter what, you'll know when I'm going live. I'll shoot you a text with the link, and you can log right in and watch it and become part of the class. So just text me, say hi. That's all you have to say, nothing complicated. And 215-608-2612, and that'll get you guys on that. The other thing is Shop FSE. If you want to pick up some tools, these classes are always free, and I don't ever expect you guys to buy anything. But if you want to buy something, or you need something like clips, combs, razors, scissors, all that stuff, we have payment plans on scissors now. You just put 50% down, you get payments on the rest. Anything that you want to get. We also have merchandise, so if you don't want to spend a lot of money, we have t-shirts that support the show, so you can get a Woke Up This Way t-shirt to represent. I know that there are shirts that some of you guys ordered. They're coming to you. As soon as you get them, make sure you take a picture in them so I can post it on our website for sure. And that's pretty much that. Let's see where we're at, and then I'll answer some more of your questions. All right, it's lifting. It's not there though. Not there, but it's lifting up, guys. You guys know this, how this works. All right, where can I get a stand like yours? So this stand here, this is Pivot Point, so you can see. Big fan of Pivot Point, and honestly, guys, they do send me free stuff sometimes, but a lot of times I buy them. I have a box. I'll show you, actually. This is what a lot of people don't realize, but this box here, $1,000. Cost $1,000 to buy that box of mannequins. I bought it before the quarantine thing happened. Actually, as soon as I knew the quarantine happened, I went and purchased. I just sent Pivot Point a message, and I said I need lots of mannequins because I'm going to do lots of classes. And then I get the bill. So they do send me free stuff every once in a while, and I really appreciate that from them. But, it's not always free. So just know that I'm investing in it as well. So when I tell you guys this is a Pivot Point tripod, I'm not promoting them, but I do love them, obviously, or I wouldn't buy their stuff. And they do help me out every once in a while, so I appreciate that. This is the Erica mannequin from Pivot Point. This stand is the swivel universal tripod. It has this swivel on the top so you can adjust it. It locks in, but when you're teaching or just working around a mannequin, it's really great to have that swivel action that happens on there. So Georgia, the products aren't available in the UK right now, but they hopefully will be soon. We're trying to launch a global store. That's kind of the goal, is some of the products that we can't sell in the US, we would be able to sell in the global store. But the challenge is keeping inventory of all those products. So when you have two separate stores, you kind of got to buy double inventory. Otherwise, you can't inventory the whole thing, is what I'm finding at this point. So a little bit of struggle in there, but we'll figure it out. And then hopefully we'll have a global store where all of you guys can buy things. But Pivot Point's global, so they're available in Australia or wherever you're at. Like I see Jess posting now. Oh yeah, so this is the, somebody wants to take a picture of this. So this is Joico Defy Damage Pro Series 1 Bond Protector. So you spray it in the hair before you lighten instead of putting it into your lightener. So super cool product. And then there's a Pro Series 2 that you put on at the shampoo bowl as well. Do you tell your customers how much each extra bowl will cost if you end up needing more product? Yeah, I mean, most of the time I'll let them know, Erica, but yeah, like that's something that if I felt like I needed to say it, depends on the extra bowl. Like if I'm doing a color touch up for gray blending, that's like a $10 upcharge. So here our clientele doesn't seem to mind. And if they ever had a question about it, we would just explain it to them. If it was a first-time customer and we're discussing budget, then I would talk about that for sure. If I saw that they had a lot of root, then I would definitely go into that with them. I'm working on my mannequin. Nina, nice. You're putting in the work with me. I like that. I like it. Did you use anything other than bleach, Tina? So make sure you guys put a Q in front of your question. Just Q, then put your question just so I can see it. I didn't use anything other than bleach. I just used 2 different types of lightener. So I used Free Play, and I used, which is a clay-based lightener from Joico for balayage, and then I used a powder lightener, Blonde Life lightener from Joico as well. What is your favorite brand of toning? So here's what I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I love trying all new different things. So I don't want to say that I have a favorite. I'm using Joico right now, also because I really respect Joico, and Joico has been a big supporter of free salon education. So I'm using them right now. I love their toners. I think they work really, really well. I've used other brands in the past. I'm never opposed to using other brands, but the way that I bring you guys free salon education is by brands supporting me as an educator. So there may be new brands throughout our course of having our, FSC community or whatever. The thing I would tell you guys is I would never lie to you guys and tell you I like something when I don't. I don't work with brands if I don't like them. The process of it is they usually send me the product and I'll try it out. And if I like it, then we'll agree on something or agree to work together. If you guys if I don't like it, I don't take it on. And that's happened often. So, so if I'm using it, I like it. Let's see. Leslie. I recently finished cosmetology school and I'm working as a salon assistant and learning a lot. But now I'm unemployed due to COVID. I'm stuck and don't know what to do. Any advice? Practice. So this is where a lot of people, I don't think, took enough advantage. Not you guys. Obviously, a lot of you guys are on here. You've been on here 35 days, 36, 37 days straight, learning with me. I don't believe COVID was a lot of people use COVID as a vacation, and not in a bad way, but people don't do things unless they have to, right? So when COVID happened and everybody got stuck in their house, a lot of people use that as a time to just get bummed out, complain. I understand it's rough. We, when COVID happened here, Free Salon Education, we lost a lot of our sponsors. We lost almost every sponsor, except Minerva Beauty, which I love those guys. Joico hung on with us, but we lost everything, all the other ones. And, could have just complained. What did we do though? I started doing classes every day instead of complaining about it. I didn't do classes every day when I had sponsors. So, that. What do? You take a situation that's a bummer, that sucks, and you flip it and you push harder. And I think with stylists, some of us didn't use this time to get better, to work harder, to learn more, to get better at what we do. So, I think that's something that moving forward, I think people need to think about that stuff. And not even in a COVID situation, but maybe you have a customer and that customer cancels on you. So now what are you going to do? Here's my camera's coming back. So, of course. Another thing I ordered that would make that not do that again. So a lot of us, a customer cancels, what do? We complain, we get upset. We want to start having a canceling charge, all this stuff. We just get frustrated in our mind. When we could really use that time to just think, why that customer not show up? Is there something I'm doing that makes them not want to show up? Is there take a look at ourselves and then use that time when that customer's not there to practice, learn, and get better. To the next time really blow them away. That's the biggest thing for me. I think that's the easiest way. You don't have clients. Then you just have more time to learn if you don't have clients. No one should rush to get clients. I understand you need the money, but the money comes when when you love what you do, and the clients come when you love what you do and you show them that, and you know, and you're educated, and that's the most important thing. All right. Let me see if I have any other questions. I'm seeing all of your guys' chat now. What is the best sectioning to follow during any color service for highlights? For example, here. For example, there is horizontal section, diagonal backwards, etc. So what the basis we should decide sectioning? So that's a good question, Akash. Let me see. Let me bring Baldy up here. Haven't seen Baldy in a while, right, guys? Some of you have been a part of this for a while. All right. So sectioning on color, right, is the same for me as hair cutting. So if I do we did diagonal back, right, through the head shape. We had a triangle back here, so we worked diagonal all the way back here. We worked diagonal all the way back here. Anytime you take something horizontally, it's gonna fall the most blended, right? But if you pull it back, it's gonna be stripy. So you got to think about that when you color hair. If I do it horizontal, it's blended this way, vertically. If I do it vertically, it's not blended vertically, but it's blended if I pull it back, right, the most. So if I do it on a diagonal, you get kind of the best of both worlds. And that's the way I always think about it. So if I have this section here, she's going to be pulling her hair here or wearing it down. I want the best of both worlds. If she's got a bob and I just want it to be really blended, she's not going to pull her hair back, then maybe I could go a little more horizontal. But if she's going to pull her hair back, then I go diagonal so that when she pulls it back, it has a nice blend to it. And that's basically how I work this sectioning always. Same thing here. I work diagonal because she's going to pull it up into a ponytail here. So if she's going to do that, or she's going to pull her hair back, this is going to pull up this way, so I want it to be blended that way. So I do it in a diagonal, which basically makes it horizontal to that ponytail. Does that make sense? So then that way I get a blended result as well. Hopefully that answers your question, Akash. Let's see. We're getting close, guys. Where are you keeping all your mannequins? I wish I had a traveling camera so I could show you guys our mannequin wall that we have in the hallway. So our salon is made up, this is the FSE studio part, and then behind that wall is my desk and my where I do my podcast from and all my other work and editing. And then through the door that way is my wife Christina's office, and then we have a little hallway with cubbies, and they're full of mannequins, the entire wall. So it just looks like a bunch of random heads. There's probably 50, 60 heads in there. And they just stay there, and I use them for all different stuff. And then the salon is beyond that. So then we have the salon, we have a barber shop in here, we have a shampoo room. There is a tour video if you, it's older, but when we first started to open up, I should redo that, I should update it, but there's a tour video if you want to look it up on our YouTube channel. What styling products are you using in your hair? I use Paul Mitchell Mitch Clean Cut in my hair. I like it because it's pretty moldable. I don't like dry feeling in my hair, but I like my hair to look as thick as possible. So that's the product I use. Blanca Joico Series 1, absolutely love, and less expensive than Olaplex. I personally use when I'm lifting my hair. All right. When you use Pro Series 1, do you have to bump up the developer? No, you don't. It actually will brighten your blondes more than having to bump up the developer. How do I finish watching this later? So Jess, you can watch it on our on the app, FSE Now if you want. You can watch it on our YouTube channel later as well. Let's see where we're at. It's getting there, but it's not there yet. Almost though, guys. So close. I mean, it's definitely lighter than it was. It's not there yet. Not there yet. Lynn, good to see you. Good to see you. We'll see. I think we're almost through. Here's a question from Tiffany. Is there a difference between Olaplex and Joico Pro Series for protecting the hair? Is there a time where you would use one over the other? I use Joico Pro Series 1 always. So I've used Olaplex in the past, but ever since I had I started using Joico, and they have the Pro Series 1. I just have been using that. I don't have a problem with Olaplex, so I just have Pro Series 1. So I haven't seen a benefit necessarily one over the other. But I also would like to say too, we do use Olaplex in the salon as well. So if that helps you guys out. Let's see, where are we at? Awesome, Jess. All right. How would you retouch these foils? So the great thing about this is that for a retouch, I wouldn't do everything that I did. I would do a couple foils in the nape area back here behind the ear. I would do a few tight around the hairline, but then in the very front. But the balayage in the back, all that stuff I wouldn't do. I would just do maybe a little bit more of a weave, and I would only do it at the base. I wouldn't pull it through the ends. So it would be a little less work, a little less intense, and that's that. Yeah, I can go live. Thanks, Jess. I can go live on my phone for sure, to show you guys, and I'll do that sometime. That'd be fun for sure. Snowden, I will give a tour for sure. Maybe I'll go live. I'll go live next week and give a tour of everything. Especially with the salon being closed, it'd be easy to kind of go through everything and show it to you guys. Jess, you better share double for the class anyways. But I'll give it a tour. Thanks so much, Nina. Appreciate that. Again, Mitch from Paul Mitchell. Any free online certification courses available from any hair brands? Not that I know of. Not of any certification courses online. Cool. Kristen, good to see you. All right, I'm caught up on the chat, guys. Do you have to protect hair before regular coloring? Just hair coloring. You can use either of them. Any bond builder you can use for hair color, whatever. You're breaking bonds no matter what you're doing. So it's good to protect the hair, but depending on what your guest hair feels like, obviously you can spray in Pro Series 1 on their hair all over if you want to, or you can you can do that for an all over color, or if you have another product, let's say like Olaplex or whatever, you can put that in hair color as well. Yeah, Kristen, you missed most of it, but we're going through and we're, let's see. It's not quite light enough, guys. So here's the thing. Here's my thought, and you guys let me know if you're okay. We've been on for 2 hours and 15 minutes. If I blow dry this is going to be another 45 minutes for sure, because I got to shampoo it and then I got to blow it dry. Do you want me to do that? I will do it. Post in the chat. Yes, or post in the chat tomorrow, or because tomorrow I'm going to be live at 12 and I can, that's awesome. I can, so post yes, do it now, or tomorrow is fine. Because that way we can, yeah. All right, up to you tomorrow. Tomorrow, cool. I think it's better if we do it. Phyllis, I appreciate your enthusiasm. I just feel like I gotta still wait for this thing to lift. It's not quite there yet, and I don't want to do it too soon because I want the result to be good. So Yeah, I think tomorrow too. I mean, we're all going to be back here. Do it now. Nice. This is funny. This is why I love like people, just in general. It's like, show the results tomorrow. Do it now. Tomorrow is fine. Do it now. I'm just kidding. Tomorrow is fine. I have young kids, got to get back to. I totally agree. See, this is where people have lives, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'll show it to you at the very beginning of tomorrow's class. We're going to have a lot of fun, and then that way, yeah, maybe I'll post a pic on Facebook and Instagram. So if you follow me at Free Salon Education, I'll post a picture of it so you guys can see it. That's cool. And then, so if you're watching this later in life and you were like, oh, I thought I was going to see it. I don't watch the show every day, whatever it is, whatever the reason is, just go to Instagram at Free Salon Education on Instagram, give it a follow, and then you'll see the picture of this technique in the end result. Or try doing it yourself. Do your own technique on your own mannequin and check out your result, see what you think as well, and post that picture so I can see it on Instagram too. What do you guys want to see for a cut tomorrow? What should we do? Let me know in the chat real quick. What type of haircut do you want to see? And we'll do that. And that's pretty much it. I appreciate it, guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best. It's always a great time hanging out with you guys on here. We set a record today. 2 hours and 21 minutes is a long class. Can you do a head sheet? Yeah, I can do a head sheet. I'll post the head sheet on probably on FSE now, if I possibly, or I'll text it to everybody. I'll probably do both of those things. And I'll probably put it on my Instagram story too. Blanca, I'm very happy to hear that. I know this was a long class and a lot of you guys hung in there really well. And the fact that you're saying it didn't waste your time, I really appreciate that. Kristen, we miss you being in the chat as well. I'm glad that you're back in the salon doing your thing. Bob with the side bang, I like that. That's cool. I love to see a classic long layer, please. I like that as well. Let's see. That's okay, Jess. I'll post it on other things so you can see it. Short disconnected cut. All right, cool. All right, I have some ideas for tomorrow. So thank you guys so much. Again, you know, I appreciate you guys being in the class, always, you know, doing your thing. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Phyllis, thank you so much. All of you guys have a great day. You guys are the best. Make sure you text me 215-608-2612 if you can, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Let me show you the way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. I woke up this way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. Let me show you.